without music. Oh no. And it's cold in here too. Oh. Okay. Not that it's really that comfortable here. Let's put this down a bit. Okay. There we go. Right. I was trimming these, huh? Have I finished this one? Yes. Nearly. Oh, I need to order more of these. I need to order more micro scissors because these ones are blunting out and I'm always losing them. It's my last pair. I really need to get some new ones. So I'm going to trim all these first, and then touch them up if they need it. It's usually just to seal any of the places where I've trimmed. Seal the edges. Right. Let's pop this over here. Oh, I could zoom in a little bit, let you see what I'm doing. Huh. Go a little bit better. Let's see if I stand this up, see a little bit more over it. And after I've finished trimming them, I'll have to make a small sample of silicone up to do the sealing work, just to seal up over the cut edges if it needs it. I do it anyway. Okay. Right. Let's see if I can. Where are my forceps? get you on shoulder cam so you can see what I'm seeing. So shoulder cam is just a sort of a crappy rig I built up, but I had to machine the parts here to get it to fit. This ball socket, I had to make that and pull the clamp off of something else to make it work. So and then what I'll do is I flip the screen around. Oop, and pop you in like this. Right, I'm just gonna go wandering around the house looking for my speakers, because I need to get some music on so I feel, so I can enjoy this. Right, so off we go. Quick wander around the house. Oh. I have no idea where I put them. I'm looking for my iPod. Hello, boo-boo. I could hear you whinging upstairs, doing your diggy scratchy. Where is my iPod? Or did I bring it up here? Could have sworn. Okay. Well, I can't find it. I thought I brought it up to charge it. But
not here.
Yeah, okay. I'll carry on downstairs then. It's not in here either. Oh well. Can't imagine how I lost it. It's a beautiful day outside. Days like this, I start dreaming about jumping in the pool again. But I know it's too cold still. Is that it? No, that's a set of pliers. This is so weird. I don't know where I put it. Look around here just in case, and then I'm going to go one more time, one more sweep upstairs. Oh boy, really need to tidy this stuff. What is that anyway? Oh yeah, reject. Okay. No, can't see them. Can't see it. This is so weird. I'm supposed to be doing a live stream showing you my work, and instead I'm on a ridiculous hunt for this iPod. Oh boy, so much to do. I'm gonna try one more time. Must find it. I can't. I need the music. did I put it in my purse? Crazy reason. No, I didn't. I'm glad it's pink because then I can spot it easy. That's mainly the reason why I buy pink things. There it is. It was just here the whole time. Oh, it's nearly dead. Oh. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll plug it in place of the phone. There's no carpets in this house because we're actually house sitting. I'm actually house sitting, and it's a house that's supposed to be renovated while we're sort of camping here. And the renovation stopped during the pandemic. And yeah, so anyway, still waiting for it to start up again. So what was supposed to be like a 6-month house sitting has turned into a pandemic thing. Let me flip the camera around so now you can see what I'm seeing. And so the main reason why I'm recording this is so that I have got footage to scrub through of what I'm working on, because I'm gonna make a campaign video. There we go, got it charged now. It's charging, isn't it? Yes, okay, it's charging. Yeah, I'm gonna make a campaign video to raise a bit of cash flow to enable me to continue with the development of these devices, because these are not ordinary sex toys. Everything is normally phallic, right? And if you've got an aversion to that, like me, this is meant to be more of a protective aid for women who might suffer with pain during intercourse. So, right, what I'm going to do now is, there's like a hymen inside, which I need to trim out. And this is just really where, what do you call it? It's really where the two mold components join together. So it's unavoidable because they're interchangeable components. This is fiddly. Oh. It's a little bit hard for me to work shoulder cam at the same time because, you know, I'm always moving. So anyway, I'll see if I can get useful footage out of this. And then I can scrub through and add it to my campaign video. It's going to be like Kickstarter, but I won't be able to put this on Kickstarter because of the nature of the product, especially if you're making what they call medical claims, like treatments or therapy, because that's one of the rules that they have, is that you can't make any claims of anything for being treatment or medical oriented, even if this is not clinically recognized, it's not a medical device. It would be nice in the future, after I've done some clinical trials with it, which I'm hoping to do, but yeah, Kickstarter won't allow it. Neither does Twitter, actually, funnily enough. I tried advertising on Twitter, and they're completely fine about advertising sex toys. They're completely fine about it, but they banned my advert because they classed it as a medical device because the website says, you know, for pain sufferers. So I was unable to advertise on Twitter, and you can imagine, like, I wasn't even going to try Facebook. Like, screw that, I'm not going to even try, because it's not a nice feeling when you've put all this work into the development of something that could be really helpful to other people, and then they call you adult. We don't allow this. It's too taboo for us. We don't want you on the platform. And they, what do you call it? They rejected. No, they restricted. They banned my account for accidentally boosting a post which I made about this. And it was completely accidental. I hit the promotion button and the whole account went down. So I'm not allowed to advertise this on Facebook anyway. Not that I want to, because theoretically I could target specific groups. That would be helpful to me, but I just don't like the Facebook platform. I mean, first of all, they're very misogynist, exclusionary, etc., etc. Let's see. I need to. So this is all flexible, right? And you just fold it like this. So you roll it up and insert it like that, and then it pops open, and it's like completely through tunnel. So it's supposed to enable you to protect yourself from friction sloughing if your tissues are delicate, which can be the case for Ehlers-Danlos or for the change of hormones when things start thinning out. And I've got these micro scissors here. These are called capsulotomy scissors. They're actually for eye surgery, but they're getting a little blunt now, see? They're getting a bit blunt because silicone just blunts everything. And I don't know how to sharpen these. These used to be like my sharpest scissors. They were so freaking sharp. And silicone's just blunted everything. I need to buy more of these. It's cool, huh? So this is called flashing. What I'm trimming off is just flashing from the mold. I thought I was being tidy. Right. And then what I tend to do after this is once they're all trimmed and put aside, I will make up a small mixture to touch anything in, seal up these edges, because all these raw edges are sites for bacteria to ingress, and you don't want that because it's such a high detailed piece. To keep it hygienic, I actually provide a care package with every one of these that goes out. So there's a special nano brush that goes out with it for cleaning, and it has to be nano because the nanofibers enable you to get more mechanical scrubbing on the surface, but they don't have stiffness, so it's just going to disrupt the surface bacteria without harming or abrading the surface. And I can see a bunny hair, which is annoying me. Where's my forceps gone? Oh, there's a bunny hair. See, I've got all this stuff on, but if I wander upstairs with my stuff on, I track down bunny hairs, so don't do that. I need to clean all my equipment again. I have to do it every day, really, frequently through the day. I do it with alcohol and everything. Mainly because while I'm working with silicone, the stuff just gets everywhere. It's sticky, and when it touches my gloves, I have to work with gloves, the stuff stops curing. It reacts with the gloves, and even though the gloves are supposed to be non-inhibitive, they're supposed to like not prevent the silicone from curing. That's not true. It doesn't matter what gloves I wear. When the silicone touches it, it won't cure. So I end up transferring incurable silicone to every surface around the lab. So all my machine switches, light switches, my equipment just gets covered in this film of goo. So I have to go around regularly and clean it off. I don't wear protective equipment while I'm doing this because I really need to have a tactile sense of the rubber, how it's behaving. If it's behaving flexible or stiff, I get an awareness immediately if there's a problem. Like there's a little air bubble there, right? So what I'll probably do is just trim that away. Let's get the other scissors. The micro scissors are really good for getting these weird little bits out, but these scissors are good for getting a clean edge. There we go. There's another air bubble there. So I'll probably touch in a tiny amount of silicone just to seal up these edges. Okay. So every one of these Medusa has to go through quite a thorough inspection process that I do while trimming, and during this phase it's kind of weak, right? Because it's just come out the mold and it's been bagged immediately, but any porosity, any micro bubbles or anything like that, it's a weakness, right? Like there's a weakness there. You can see a weakness there. There's a tiny little hole there, right? So if I patch that in with some silicone, that will, completely protect it. So, and you often get like, some of this is bound to happen in the molding process, but for a solid toy, a solid phallic toy, it doesn't matter, right? Because you've got a 1 millimeter bubble in something with a cross section of like an inch. It's not going to matter, but on this, because it's so delicate, it's a problem. So I just have to be really like hawk-eyed about everything that can go wrong. And yeah. See, it's a little bit thin there. You can see the light going through it. It's a little bit thin there. So what I'll do is I'll give it an extra coat of silicone just there, which is normally where I touch it up anyway, because this whole area, once you trim the flashing, I need to seal it again. So trim that off. Okay, that's done. So I'm not going to put any major tugging or stretching on this until it's been thoroughly sealed and protected. So, and then I can pull it apart, stretch it, and test it for its flexibility, whatever. So let me pop you back in the other stand. I'll do this because I want my music on. Okay. Wow, fully charged already. Excellent. And now I can continue all my work. Put my music on. I need something to listen to. 3 months ago, I would not have been able to sit for so long. A year ago, that was just impossible. Okay. They all have different size bells, different shape bells for different purposes. So don't yawn already. Oh my god, it's just the start of the day. Right. So Grr. Oops. Okay. I had to debulk some of the rubber in this area because if it's too thick, it gets too rigid. So I have to take out some of the rubber here and then I'll seal it. I've tried doing a mold process where it won't allow slumping and I won't have to do any debulking. But unfortunately, I was less able to quality control that process. So I had to abandon it and go back to this method. And basically just maintain a high skill level of work to produce these devices. They can't ever be mass manufactured, you know. I thought I'd nailed it by doing a closed mold system, but the flow just gets more ridiculous and complex, and then I have to pressure controlling everything, and it just started getting crazy. Too many variables for things to go wrong. So I lost a whole month by trying to control this method of quality. And in the end, I was like, you know, I have to make a decision. And I think the decision was just keep it skill-based, because I can't get rid of the quality issue of extra thickness not being required. So it's better that I improve my skill to not overload the mold, rather than create a system which was pretty complex, involving catheters, syringes to pressurize the mold, lots of clamping. Oh my God. So while you've got all of that going on, things are slumping, you know? And when you get slumping, that's even worse, because the silicone will slump away from important areas instead of being uniform, and leave a complete gas bubble or something. Right. Wasn't expecting to do that kind of debulking, but I'll probably have to have a look at the other one now. Let's see if I need to do it on that. So it's actually better if the mold is too thin than if it's too thick, because if it's too thick, I completely lose the flexibility and elasticity of it, and to get it back, I have to literally carve out all the thick blobby bits, thick areas, and that's a lot of time. But if it's too thin, it's just a weak area that I can easily burr over, create the mechanical contact, and just touch in with a screed of silicone, and, you know, everything's fine. But oh wow. So I can feel where it's really thick and it needs to be debulked. That's the other reason I don't do this with gloves on, because I need to feel how the silicone is responding. It's a very tactile process. And I've had people write and say, why don't you blah 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 suggest some crap thing to get rid of all this post-processing. And I'm like, it's not that I haven't tried, but it counters the artistic appeal and in some cases the functionality, because the main priority number one for me was aesthetics and functionality, and to automate this in any way, you lose the aesthetics. There is absolutely no way you can get this level of aesthetics with just, you know, even semi-automation. It's just impossible. You'll lose it. So that's that side done. So yeah, I am going a little bit overboard with this debulking, but this is my first batch, so I'm expecting that I'll be doing less of this later on when I get to know the mold behavior. It's very different from the prototype making, because with the prototype making, everything was a flexible mold and I could make adaptations pretty easily. I transitioned over to a solid mold for production to make everything consistent, the same, because this flexible molds, they just wear out over a certain period of time. I'll be lucky to get 6 castings out of a flexible mold. So yeah, that is a lot of debulking. I wasn't expecting to do this much, but I've learned. So on my next rotor cast, I will change that when I ice in the silicone, because it's like icing a cake, you know. I found that you can't pour these things, you have to ice them. Icing them also trains the molecules, because it comes out in strands, to line up in certain directions, and that enables the elasticity to work in your favor in the direction that you want it to. So you can actually get away with thinner surfaces where it'll actually expand more, because as it sort of vulcanized and became solid, the molecules were already lined up in the right direction. But when you're pouring, just a straight pour, the molecules remain sort of all matted together and homogeneous, and the bulk of that pour becomes stiff and hard. You know, you can't even squish it. So it's a complete different process and properties. You get completely different properties of silicone. Whereas I'm doing this more from composite behavior patterns, where there is unidirectional properties, so properties that change according to the direction of pour. And you only get that knowledge from actually being a composites engineer as well. Although, you know, you explain it to someone, you demonstrate it and it makes sense, but this isn't the kind of stuff that normal toy making or silicone making would come close to thinking about, because everything's phallic and they don't have to think about that. But because I'm doing surface engineering, it's I've got the experience already to predict how materials are going to behave around folds, and yeah. I'm going to go back to the all debulking. And get rid of this music. Don't know what what this is, but okay. Okay. I'll probably have to go back and debulk some of the others, actually. Right, okay, let's get rid of all this excess. Should be quite easy now. It looks like I'm butchering the surface, but that's actually a good thing, because when I do the protective seal over it, it will mechanically join. The molds, when I pull them out, they're covered in quite a bit of wax from the release agent, and I have to wash all of that off before I start doing any sealing work, because otherwise, you know, there's a potential that it won't bond. So I was washing them out yesterday, and I realized on camera it just looked kind of wrong, like I was doing this intentionally. But you know, there is no other way to remove the wax off the surface. And then I have to deburr or burnish the surface to make sure that it's going to contact. It's kind of a pain actually having to do this, because it's too much extra work. It's not practical. But when I go back and I do more of these, I won't overload it with silicone, so it won't be a problem. Right, let's see if I can pull all this out. My floor, I have to sweep it because it's covered in silicone crumbs, and they are just impossible to sweep up because they stick to everything like snot. It's but the cool thing about it is it does actually attract all the bunny hairs and the dust in the room, so there is that. It's like an automatic filter agent. Just leave the crumbs of silicone everywhere and then sweep it up, and all the bunny hair disappears with it. Because even though my bunnies don't come down here, their fur just gets everywhere. And they're going through a molting season at the moment, which I'm convinced is like twice a year but 6 months long. So I've been brushing my bunnies daily to try and speed up the molting and just get rid of as much fur as possible so it doesn't float around the house and end up everywhere. Where's my others? Oh, there they are. So, I have to move on to the next one. I've got to wrap this up. And then, right, I'll move on to the next. See, all these little bits of silicone, it's just like little balls of snot. It's so difficult to clean up. So it's best if I just let it pile up, and then it'll all kind of gum together in one big lump, and it's easier for me to pick up. Oh, there we go. This is a beautiful one. She's beautiful. I love this. Oh, dropping stuff. I need to get myself a saddle seat. because I'm using this standy uppy bench and it's really making me ache actually. I had someone ask me the other day, when did you start doing this? Let me see. I started the production on the last day of February. That's when I started production. So, been doing it for 1 month. Until then, it was all prototypes. And when I figured out, okay, this is the prototype that's going to work, I can make production molds for this now. That's when I launched. So I launched prematurely because I got the design right, the shape right, the functionality right. And I was like, oh shit, and now I've got all these orders and I haven't got the production molds yet. Ah, shit. So it took me most of that month to get the production molds made because I was going to a hard mold system, which, I mean, it was a lot more effort to make the molds, different materials, and that altered the process a little bit. So there was a learning curve associated with the new style of molds. And I was starting to panic because I was like, ah, shit, I need one to come out right. I need this development process to be over. But it was expected because I had launched prematurely. I was just dying to get my stuff out there. The thing is now I've got orders, but I need the cash flow for my patenting. I've trademarked everything already, but I really need to start paying down some of the development debt, and so that's why I'll be building this campaign to see if I can get the the business startup debt covered and enable me to get this patented. The lawyer is ready and waiting to file. He's just waiting on me really to afford it, which I can't at the moment because everything is just, you know, startups are greedy. There's materials, there's blood, sweat and tears, all the debt you're building up from trial and error. Yeah. I was like, oh, this is crazy. I mean, I just wanted a hobby, and now my hobby has taken over my life, but in a good way, because to actually make this has been like an ongoing lifelong dream. Not a dream as in like oh, I want to grow up and be a toy maker. No, not like that, but more of a, if things were different and I could fix things, then how would I do it? And I fantasized a lot about the solutions that I needed. And then I realized, well, I've got the skill to do it. And has this idea, they don't have the skill to do it. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to make it really beautiful, because part of healing is an art. Part of healing is pride. And if you don't feel like you have any worth, if you feel like you have no value, you can't heal. So I wanted these pieces to be a real self-investment, personalized, and, you know, something that you don't have to hide away and be ashamed of, something that could quite happily sit on the side table as a sculpture. So that was my thinking behind it, really. I just thought, you know, a lot of these clinical approaches to everything are devoid of beauty, devoid of all the feel good that's necessary to heal. You know, orgasms heal. They are a method for the body to cleanse, and to cleanse the nervous system, to reset it, to flush it all. And the nervous system, the autonomic system, is also part of the immune system. So it gives everything a kickstart. That's my belief anyway. There's nowhere written that you can find that. It's just, I'm not saying that you should just go out there and masturbate and it would solve all your problems, but I think if people could do that more, it would definitely help. So luckily this one doesn't really need any debulking. It was just trimming, so that's good. Really pleased with how this one turned out. There's a few thin areas, but those are really simple to just screed over and protect, you know? It's not like, I wouldn't call it a flaw. Part of the art of this is to be as thin as possible so that it's lightweight and it feels like a second skin, and it's not kind of clunky like the traditional, conventional thinking of a sex toy. So I remember the first time I tried one, and it was him that bought it for me, and honestly it was so painful that I just developed an aversion to them, because it was like, nope. It's like, I don't care if it's shaped like a dong, it doesn't work, and that lumpy bit on the end hurts, you know? So, and there are women obviously who don't have any problem with it, but it's been a problem all my life. Right, so that is done. This one's really nice. She feels really squishy and flexible too. Some of them, if I've pressurized the mold a bit, they come out thicker and stiffer, which might be easier for insertion, but for girthy folk it might be a bit more uncomfortable, I don't know. I really like this one. I think my favourite is funny because when I first started it, the first design I came out with was Aurelia, because I wanted to feel completely covered up because I was dysphoric about my parts, dysmorphic about my parts, you know. Women don't typically know what everybody else looks like, and we tend to judge ourselves based on what we see out there, which is usually hyper real. They've paid to have everything tucked away and tidied up, and you know, it doesn't do our confidence much good. So I wanted to minimize everything. So that was my first design. And then my second design, I was like, I should celebrate this, you know? So I made the labia bigger and more standy-uppy, and figured that if you've got a depth problem, like you've got scar tissue down there, you don't want anyone bumping into that because it can be quite painful bumping into a scar tissue. It's not like there's any warning. It just, you bang on it and it's like, oh my God, I'm being stabbed. So by making the bigger lips, if you like, creates a buffer to minimize the depth that he goes in, which is the whole, this is the idea. So he can go up against this and there's like a depth there to prevent him going in too deep. So that one's done. Okay. And then I'll mix up some silicone and start tidying them up. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. This is amazing. I love this one so much. Right, I'm nearly done. Awesome. Wow, look at the entrance. It's amazing. Oh my God. Sorry, the exit. on my next stream, I should just call myself the alien midwife. I give birth to these aliens. You know, people often say, oh, if you had bad stuff in life happen to you, you've been traumatized and you get through it and it's like, oh, it makes you stronger and blah, blah, blah. For those of us who do get through it, in life, I went through some pretty horrendous traumas, which I won't talk about now because it, you know, trauma is trauma. You can relate to it, or not. No one's trauma is worse than another person's trauma, but it did change me, and I realize now the traumas I went through fertilized my soul. Seriously, all that stuff I fought through gave me everything I needed to make this. And that is how I'm now going to refer to the trauma. I don't blame anyone. There are just some bad people who should know better, but it's the way they are. This one is just amazing. I am so happy with this one. She's so amazing. I don't need to do any debulking whatsoever. It's amazing. Okay, so she is now ready. So, isn't it? It's weird how one color palette came out so different. It's just bizarre. It's because I layer the colors, and it depends what order they come out in. I've got to get more consistency with it, because if you just pour it into a puddle, everything ends up with uniform distribution. But because I'm weaving the pattern, it depends how saturated the color is and what order, and they all come out completely unique. I mean, it's just weird. Right, okay. She is done. She was the easiest one to trim. Which is just amazing. Just amazing. So I'm gonna make up some silicone now. What I'll do is I'll stick you on shoulder cam now. And get this ready. Because otherwise you'll be bored watching me just so I'm gonna get ready for the next phase. I'm gonna take you off the power line. Yeah. Right, so hopefully if I finish this today, I'll be able to do some more casting, which would be awesome. Oh, right. Oh. I reuse the baggies. They're only for protecting them from dust. This isn't the packaging baggies. But I reuse them for... As soon as I pull them from the mold, they go into a baggie. And, yeah. Okay. Let's get this organized. Okay, I'll need this. So that's one batch ready of alien. It's amazing how different they come out. Aha, there's more room in this one. In that case, I'll just stack them side by side because they'll fit. Ha. Well, sort of. So, there we go. Just gonna do this lot. Oh, come on. Come. Let's see. I need to do that one and that one. And
yeah, I think I'm done. Ugh.
Okay. So these heaters help me post cure and do any what do you call it? Final. They get pretty hot actually, but the silicone's all right. It just, ouch, makes it stronger. I could, if I do it this way, maybe, ouch. Oh, damn, that's hot. Yeah, maybe I'll just slant it, maybe. Oh. Yeah, see if that works. They're really hot. Ah. So, yeah. Do that. So I wired these together off one distribution board, which I'm absolutely rubbish at doing, but I need these. And I need to build another set and put better wires on because this is fiberglass wires and they just, yeah, it's just unfeasible. It's not manageable. Right. All that silicone is coming off. Look, I mean, it looked greasy, sticky, but it's actually rolling off all right, so it's cured. That's cool. Okay, just rubbing it off onto the floor, whatever. I was using this shiny reflective surface to backlight everything while I'm touching it up, so I spot the thin spots easier. Right. It would be pretty cool actually if I just had plastic mirrors that I could use instead of just boards. But okay. See what I mean? You would have been totally bored if you'd just been watching me. Get the cups ready. The colour palette that was in this before was called Coraline, which is the coral colours the warm coral colours. And this batch is mermaid and unicorn. You can see they're like magical colours. So mermaid and unicorn. You can tell which one's a mermaid, right? That one's mermaid, that one's mermaid. That one's mermaid, but I don't know, she came out pretty vivid, more like unicorn. That's weird. These two are unicorn. That one came out homogeneous, strangely. I think what happened was I piped it through a tighter nozzle, and so everything kind of blended easier. But when you look at close, the lacing pattern is still there. You know? It's cool. Okay, that's done. Right, I don't want to lose my scissors because last time I swept this lot up and these scissors ended up in the trash. And that's probably how I lost the other ones. I really must order some. Must go on eBay and do that. But my phone is in the holder right now. Normally if I'm working here and I think of something, I go straight onto the phone and order it. Right. See, this stuff is so sticky you can't sweep it. Right. Oh, that was a staple I didn't mean to put in there, because I can use that. I end up in these little bits. Right. Let's pop this here and baggy. Oh, and more to get rid of. This is I need to sort out my colours. So, put this back here a second. Yeah, the dishwasher's missing the door because it was broken, so I started using it as a curing cabinet with the old heater, and I was just blowing it in there. But now I've got the heating mats, so there's less of this hot air blowing around and making things uncomfortable in here. So all of this mess is literally mostly from the trimming and cleaning out the cups and everything. It just ends up all over the place. This bench is proving rather uncomfortable. Silicone sticking it to the floor. These little baby dustpan. I got a big one over there, but it's just, I find it better to use the little ones actually. Right. Okay. Bit more room in there. Okay. I gave up with dustbins because having the wide box open like that is more useful. Oh, I need to do that area. Okay. So, right, next, prepare my colour tray. Let's pop these back. And these, what would be? Just stay there. Stay there. Yeah. God damn it. So, yeah, if the silicone touches my gloves, it won't cure. So wherever I've been handling things, for some reason, it inhibits. Cool. I need to clean that. Snotty. Right. If you've got a child that likes playing around with snot, I could do with one in my lab to just clean up all the snot for me. There's a YouTube channel called Kiara the Snot Dog or something, yeah, Kiara the Snot Dog. Go look it up. She has a really bad snot problem, and the owners clean out her nose by getting this tissue, and they roll the snot out of her nose, like literally like 3 foot long snotties. She has a medical condition that makes it happen, but I find it really funny. Poor Kiara. So go check it out. Kiara the snot dog. Okay. Alcohol that in a minute. This needs alcohol for sure. Yeah. Right. Okay. Right. So that scraper. That's got it. Right. Those are empty, that's clean. Cool. Right. Oh, my hands feel sticky already. Okay. Need that one for sure. Definitely need this one. I got a hood on so that my hair wouldn't get everywhere, and somehow it did. Right, what else do I need? I need this, and it's fine. No problem there. Oh yeah, I definitely need this one. What's the difference between these two ends? Oh, I knew it. That one's parallel, that one's tapered. Right, I think that's all I'm going to need. Oh, syringe. That's ready. Damn, this stuff is everywhere. Right. Colours. So I'm going to need 3 colours to do mermaid.